We have so much to talk about tonight. We've got big topics to get into because now it's time to get into it. All right, the very first conversation we gotta have today is about the Foundation, because the Foundation got picked up for a season 3. Now, if you haven't watched this yet, this is on Apple TV Plus. Lee Pace is fucking great as the Emperor in this, honestly. And you have Jared Harris too, who was awesome. I mean, he's so good in this too. I think he was meant to play. I think they were both meant to play these parts. Now, if you haven't seen it chronicles the epic saga of the Foundation, a band of exiles who discovered that the only way to save the Galactic Empire from destruction is to destroy it. Now, the series hails from a showrunner and executive producer David S. Goyer, of course, who's done a lot of fucking projects. You go back to the Man of Steel, worked with Zack Snyder. He's worked with Christopher Nolan for a long time. A very big screenwriter, but also creator. Of course, helped on Westworld. A lot of big projects. Been doing this. Apple TV Plus created this project, and honestly, this has been based off a book series I've been trying to make for years and years and years. But the production value has to be so huge, and I spent so much money to make it look good. They couldn't afford it, so they eventually afforded it by Apple TV Plus. They did a great job with this. I mean, honestly, if you haven't seen it, check it out. I mean, 3 seasons. I'm excited because the way the last season ended. Now, if you haven't all seen, like, spoiler alert, but the way the last season ended, it was like really leading up to like a big thing coming in season 3. And I really want to see those characters come forward. They talk about a character called the Mule a lot, and I want to see what they do with the Mule in season 3. And this really made me excited because Lee Pace, again, I love him. I always think of him as the pie maker. If you haven't seen Pushing Daisies, the pie maker, I think he did a great job doing that back in the day. And he did the comedic role. He's been in the Marvel movies, guys. Of course, if you've seen, Ronan and Guardians of the Galaxy, he kicked ass doing that. He's a great villain, and he just kills it in this. And of course, you have Brother Day, Dawn, and Dusk. So you have 3 versions of the character played by different actors. It's awesome. This is based on the Foundation trilogy. Yes, it is. So if you've read those books, this is it's tough. It's tough to follow sometimes because you have to really pay attention. But if you pay attention, it's worth the watch. It is. I'm gonna go to Mike first on this. I know Mike has seen this.
Please.
Mike, what do you think about the Foundation coming back for a season 3? Are you stoked about it? Are you excited? Do you think it makes sense? I don't know if you saw the ending, but do you think they need another season to wrap more up?
I did, Brian. We were talking about this show earlier today, were we not? I hit the last 2 episodes, the most 2 recent episodes of the series, just moments ago in my own home, and they were freaking great. Empire hit Order 66 on the Foundation and just freaking did something. I'm not gonna give you guys any spoilers because it's good shit. Like it's so crazy watching this series, like because obviously Isaac Asimov was drawing on existing pulp tropes, but he was also trying to create a story of a more kind of scientific savior story, I guess. Like, and he was pulling in a lot of
psychohistory.
What's that? Psychohistory, exactly. He had this deterministic viewpoint that he wanted to think of what does prophecy look like from the realm of someone who has supposedly figured it out scientifically. Obviously, it's a sci-fi fantasy, but he definitely was bringing in some legit existing academic concepts and scientific concepts, mathematical concepts I'm less familiar with, but it seems legit. I really freaking enjoyed it, and so I'm very, very happy. It would be crazy if they cut it off at season 2. Would it not? Like it's such a seminal trilogy within the sci-fi canon. Like it's affected the stories that have come out of every sci-fi author that's written since him. I mean, Asimov there's no more seminal sci-fi author. So it's great, and it's really cool. Like you say, it's a story that couldn't be really adapted until now to have any justice done to it. Like they could have done it in the 80s, but it would have just been like matte paintings and goofy. It would have been like the first Dune adaptation.
Like, I was waiting for you to say Dune. Come on.
I just started a poll too, everybody. Tell us what you think. Yes or no if you want to see another season. I just started a poll, so
yeah. Let us know. Like that Dune adaptation was enjoyable as it was, but it's not. It has no bearing on the kind of like they're actually able to do justice to those like really big galactic scale stories, same as we see in the Marvel universe now, like these big ideas, because they can paint whatever they want for us on the screen, like, and they're doing it, and it looks great. So it's awesome.
Looks fantastic.
That it looks really freaking good. These space battles look terrific.
It makes me very excited. Now, speaking of Dune, Mr. Sutherland, have you seen The Foundation? Have you watched it? Because it does kind of fall into this intergalactic battle. And I don't know if there's any, what's the spraying of dust, or what they call it all the time? And you're like,
dark materials? Oh, no, spice.
There's no spice.
There's dark materials with dust.
But we don't mean spice, but it is a little spicy. So do you think this is a good series? Does it deserve a third season?
Well, you know, as I've gone on the record here plenty of times before, Dune is the best desert-based sci-fi. Frank Herbert, name goes right up there next to Isaac Asimov, above Isaac Asimov, whatever you want to do. I'm not here to fight that. I haven't watched any of this because I am not an Apple TV Plus aficionado. You know, I was very.
It's where the sci-fi is at is the thing. That's the whole reason that I got on board, because Lynn's a big sci-fi fan. I'm a huge sci-fi fan. This is definitely an area that is just unexplored by me. I'm excited to look into it. I made the commitment to not get so many streaming services in 2024. So I might just wait until this ends, and then maybe I get a free trial when they bring back the iPod. And you know, because I know Tim Cook is thinking. Tim Cook is thinking, man, what do I do for Q4 2024? Bring back the iPod. Then I get a free trial of Apple TV Plus, and I binge the fuck out of Foundation and yada yada yada. I am in the midst, because you didn't ask. I am in the midst of rereading the entire Walking Dead comic book series.
Oh, nice.
But no, I appreciate the fact that we do live in a time where sci-fi, the genre itself, is given such importance and credence and taken very seriously. And these are beloved franchises. They are beloved IP-ness for a lot of people in generation. Thank you, Sabrina. I know that you wanted to talk about this, Sabrina.
Yes, you did.
Like, why did you put me on the screen? I don't know what I should be K. Jacob and just start doing this.
I love it.
But no, like I do. I love the fact that that technology is at a point where we can get closer to the things that we have kept in our head or had in our head and used in our imagination for generations, to give that glimpse into visions of other universes and other kind of stories. I think it's wonderful. So I applaud any time I hear things like this go. Quick shout out for Scavenger's Reign on HBO. If you haven't watched that yet,
I haven't seen that.
Oh my God. Very, very well done animation, adult animation about a series of survivors from a crashed spaceship, and they interact and are changed by an alien planet. But it was such a really enjoyable watch. It's all up on HBO Max. I doubt it's going to come back for a season 2. But it was just such an interesting, again, like when like streaming services like Apple TV or even HBO, when they go outside of what's expected and they kind of allow different stories and different kind of styles to be explored, that's where you're getting people to be inspired. I mean, this is how people are going to talk about, they've seen this show, or they grew up with the Foundation trilogy and it inspired them to do whatever they're doing, right? Like, I think that's cool. And I think that there's more opportunity now to be inspired and to find inspiration because people are giving it a shot and they want good content that's different than what their parents grew up with. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that it is like a dynamic thing. And it's a dynamic series overall. And I haven't heard about their show on Max. I'll have to check that out too, because I love a good sci-fi series. And for this show,
it's beautiful. Yeah.
Max streaming service needs a big TV show besides House of Dragon next year. You're right. It does, Kevin Davis.
True. It's not looking like a strong lineup for next year's 2024 for Max. Absolutely
not. That's what they have in the summer.
Well, I think that we mentioned it earlier during the hot takes or breaking news and stuff like A24. I feel like Max has kind of said, hey, we kind of are painted ourselves in our corner here. We need to make a move. And like A24 is going to fulfill some of that. I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what they're betting on.
I think they hope that.
Yeah, it was not looking strong. And usually this is the time of year where their services like HBO are putting out their teaser trailers, right? Like coming soon to HBO or join HBO in 2024. And here's the new season of Barry. And here's the new season of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And it's like, where the fuck is that? We haven't gotten any of that. Exactly. You're exactly right. Yeah.
And that's why they're rushing some productions, and that's what we're trying to like Marvel's rushing like the Deadpool series. They're trying to get that done really early so they can get that out there. Everyone's trying to do that right now. They're trying to scramble to make the summer because nothing's lined up for the summer. But this is a big show for Apple, and Max needs more. Sabrina, I know you haven't really watched all this. Are you excited though to hear this show? I know you like Lee Pace. I know you've watched some of it. Are you excited to see a season 3 come? Do you think that this show deserves it? What do you think about this?
I haven't watched any of it. I've seen it in passing, and every time I walk by, I'm confused. So no, I'm not saying don't watch it. It's just I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Who the fuck is this bitch? Like, it's always like some weird shit's happening. It's just not. I love Lee Pace. Love him. He's great, amazing, wonderful. I loved him as the pie maker for sure. Well, that was one of my favorite shows that got canceled, by the way. I would prefer another season of Pushing Daisies, by the way. If anyone's listening, nobody cares.
Not gonna happen.
They canceled it because it was too expensive to make. But Netflix is making a show that they give away $4 million and have 100 and something fucking contestants, 405 contestants.
That's not all their money. That's not all their money. That's sponsorship.
Whatever. It's money. It's money.
All right.
Okay. It's money. You
that's Mr. Beast. That's all Mr. Beast's money.
This is Mr. Beast.
That show was original and awesome and weird and fun and quirky, and I loved it. And they fucking got rid of it. That's a cast of people. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't watch the show. I don't hate on it. I think there's good actors. I think Richard Tracy said that in the comments earlier.
Great cast.
I feel like I can't really say anything other than that I enjoy Lee Pace and that I've walked by and been confused several times. Those are the two bits of information I have for you about the foundation. And Apple has all the money in the world because they give you a phone and then like 2 years later your phone doesn't work anymore because you can't afford to update the software because there's not enough room on the phone or like some other dumb shit. So you have to get a new phone, and then you have to get a new charger.
Android is available.
It's available, Mike says.
This whole thing. So they're super rich. They don't need a lot of subscribers.
Gotta love it.
Someone said that they don't have a lot of subscribers and they make quality content. They don't need subscribers because they are fucking us 8 ways to Sunday in every other direction.
And they're raising their price. Everybody's raising their prices. Like I saw a comment out there.
You have a brand new fucking iMac, whatever Air piece of shit, fucking that doesn't even charge. You can't even take it off the charger. It's like 2 years old.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Yeah. So what do you do?
Thank you, Apple.
That's why it's a closed garden system. Like they want to be able to compel you to pay more money. That's how it works.
Apple's the lesser of two evils, in my opinion.
That's the question, right?
This is good. This is good news, I think, for this whole show because I think this show deserves one more season. And if it ends after season 3, I'd be fine. I mean, but I think it needs one more season. I think 3 books, 3 seasons. Let's do that. I would be fine if they go for 5, but I think that we at least need one more because where they're leading up for the next season with the Mule, I think we need to see that because again, Harry Seldon's whole path, if you watch the show, is about
the Mule. I'm so tantalized. I just finished season 2. The freaking Mule.
The Mule.
But is there a chance it's just a regular donkey?
It could be. No, it's not. Definitely not a donkey.
I think it's Eeyore.
Okay. It's definitely not a donkey.
Oh my God!
Could be
the Mule is very vicious.
Crossover.
Very vicious.
We haven't really talked about that.
I have a question.
Good question, Queen.
I don't have a question. Queen has a question. But I don't really watch network TV or science fiction. Does anyone know if there's I know Quantum Leap was rebooted. Did that do well?
Yeah, that's done really well. It's done really well.
Okay,
have you talked about that on the show? We yet?
Have not.
This
Quantum Leap has done really well.
The shit I want to talk about.
We can talk about Quantum Leap next time. We'll have a whole conversation about that.
I don't know how relevant it is currently, but
join the Patreon. We talk about
nothing. I love Quantum Leap.
Yes.